Well, since we were near Soi 4, thought we'd just pop in and get a beer. The world is ending. So people often ask me, what was it like living in Thailand over the last year, you know, with COVID and the restrictions and everything? And to be honest, the Thailand I moved to a year ago and the Thailand I live in now are two very different places. Great to see Thailand coming back to life, but to be honest, there's some things I actually preferred about it before. So I'm just on my way now to Lumpini Park. I haven't been there for a while. I love going to parks and hanging out, so let's go. Hey. What's up, man? How are you?
Good. You?
Never know who you're gonna run into in Bangkok. How you doing?
Good. Just had lunch. Feeling great. Well, I was going to Lumpini Park. If you can see the sky behind me there, it looks like the world's about to end. So I think I need to get undercover and I know just the place. Well, since we were near Soi 4, thought we'd just pop in and get a beer. The world is ending. But that's how it goes here when it's rainy season. It just comes out of nowhere, and I mean, whoa, not my beer. I mean, look. Well, one beer later, the rain hasn't stopped, so I need a new plan. I didn't want to sit there and drink all day. It was tempting though. All right, so change of approach. I'm gonna have to just seek shelter when I can to do these talking parts. I mean, it's rainy season in Thailand. This is what happens. It starts raining like out of nowhere. Like the sky was blue when I left home, and then all of a sudden this came. So that's all good. Lumpini Park's out. I'll go back there maybe tomorrow if I can. But for now, I'm just gonna have to seek shelter wherever I can. So when I first moved here to Thailand just over a year ago, God, it was such a different place. You know, as I was coming in, Thailand went into all these restrictions and lockdowns. There was nothing before I planned to come over, and then in the time from me planning to when I arrived, everything changed and we sort of headed into the most strict lockdowns that we had basically the entire time. When I arrived, I was blown away at how quiet Bangkok was. I traveled all around the country and saw these completely deserted places. You know, Pattaya was a ghost town. Koh Samui, I was blown away. It was completely dead. I sat in the middle of Chaweng Beach Road for about 10 minutes talking, and I was like sitting in the middle of the road. I didn't see a car, a person, anything. All the shops were closed. Everything along Chaweng Beach Road was closed. It was like something out of a zombie movie. Now, over the last year, it's been great to see, you know, Thailand coming back to life and everything opening back up and all these businesses coming back and just the place coming alive again. But there are still some things that I miss from that period. This is the perfect example right here. So I've just come around to Foodland for lunch. This place is great. I've been coming here the whole time I've lived here. The food's good, it's cheap, it's usually really fast, but today I was about 45 minutes from walking in the door to when I actually got my food. And something I miss is like, and this is selfishly, you know, I feel terrible for the businesses that suffered through all COVID and everything, but it was great to be able to just like walk into a restaurant, sit where you want, get served right away. It's entirely selfish, I know. Right, nice lunch, the rain has stopped, and now it's getting dark. The next thing that I definitely miss is the traffic.
Oh, we had it so good for a while, and I actually got used to it. I remember like when it started picking up again, I was saying, oh, the traffic's getting bad. That was nothing. It's mental now. Actually, the other day, Mark was at my house and he was coming to his new hotel on Soy 11, and he jumped in a taxi because he had a big bag with him, and I walked to Soy 11. I had to like shoot this video, and I went into a 7-Eleven, I bought something, I shot video, I was out and about for a little while, and I walked to the street and I still beat him there. It's just, oh, Bangkok traffic. Ugh. So one thing I definitely miss, cool thing about carrying a skateboard, I've always got somewhere to sit. But one thing I definitely miss is not having the street hustlers, the tuk-tuk drivers, the taxi drivers trying to fuck with you with the price. Just being able to jump in a taxi and they turn the meter on without that whole back and forth. And just being able to walk down the street without people trying to sell you something. Hello, where are you going? Do you want to go here? Floating market, blah, blah, blah. I will also say it was actually a great time to make friends. You know, coming over here, there wasn't much open, and everyone, like there was no tourism, right? So everyone that was here actually lived here. And because it wasn't as busy, it was actually easier to meet people. So the majority of my friends that are still my friends, I actually met basically as soon as I got here. You know, one of my closest friends was the person I met the first day out of quarantine, and most of my closest friends were kind of within the first couple of weeks. Now, some of the things were really tough to see, you know, seeing the homelessness and people struggling with poverty and so many people being out of work. It was very in your face, and it was really difficult to see, you know, firsthand. The tourist areas were the worst affected. You know, Pattaya was, it was tough to see, honestly. You know, it was so in your face of how many people were just like instantly put out of work. You know, Pattaya is such a tourism related place, you know, all those little markets, they all closed, the street performers, like, you know, there's all these little jobs that you don't think of, the people that sell like the sunglasses and wallets and things like that. So many people have these jobs that was just like literally taken away from them, and they had no income source. One great thing to come from that was all the people that got together to sort of help everyone out. You know, I shot a video on what they were doing in Pattaya with the food trucks and the food donations that was happening, you know, a couple of times a day. It was great to see that. Dan even helped. Dan did it as well. He raised money to help people out here in Klong Toi in Bangkok. I think these tough times really affected a lot of people, you know, put everyone on edge. You know, I remember one day, you know, there was fear as well. I remember one day I was on a train on a BTS and someone sneezed, and half the carriage, they got up and left and changed carriages, and, you know, this person just sneezed. They had a mask on, but still just, you know, they sneezed and everyone kind of freaked out and moved to the next carriage. But it just seemed to be drilled into people here of how terrible it was, you know, and how much of a big deal this was. You still see, you know, the mask mandate has ended, but just about every Thai person is still wearing a mask. You know, they're still taking it very seriously here. So I finally managed to find a nice backdrop. I'm sorry, the backdrops are where I've been doing these talking bits today. It's just basically wherever I could find shelter. The rain just hasn't stopped all day. So one great thing to come towards the end of this, you know, as Thailand was starting to come alive again and people were able to start working and people were coming out more and more, was that you'd notice there was a real positivity in the air. There was great change here. You could honestly, you could see it and feel it. It was such a noticeable difference for, you know, everything, for places opening back up, and still places are opening back up. You know, I noticed things like I was driving down a road last night and they've got sort of fairy lights all above the road and they've turned them on. You know, they haven't been on for like the last year and they've started to turn them on. Malls have started to open up. Little street food vendors have started to pop up in places that weren't there before. The country's really coming alive again, and it's been so, you know, it's been cool in a way to see this whole thing. Obviously it was terrible, there was suffering all over the world and it was really tough to see at times, but it's so great to see the direction this place is heading and how great it is to be here at the moment.